All right, so I think you all hear me. I don't know why you don't see me. Not sure why my camera is gray. Let's see. You hear me, but you don't see me. Oh, I see what happened. All right, I think I fixed that. All right, I'm trying a new platform today, so y'all bear with me. We are already learning new things. Day, happy Sunday. Evelyn, happy Sunday. Hi, Lorraine from the Bronx. Hey, Sandra, good to see you in the chat. Hi, Michelle. Happy Sunday. Happy to see you here. Got a new name from Virginia. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Hi, Sophia. GS Cougar, welcome. Glad to see you as we talked about. All right. WLJ, I missed somebody. It's moving so fast. All right. Happy Sunday, everybody. Royal, Teresa, Vivian. All right. We are here. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Glad to have y'all all here. As I said, I'm working from a new platform today. This is StreamYard. And I normally use Ecamm. Hi, FE Gaskin. So I'm switching. All the cool kids I noticed are using StreamYard. So I'm going to try it and see. We got 365 days to see if we like it. It was time for me to renew my Ecamm. Happy Sunday, Rosalind. So we'll see in these 365 days if we like StreamYard. I've been working with it since earlier this week, kind of midweek, trying to figure out all the things, get it set up. It's a lot less customization available to you than what is available on Ecamm, but it's kind of easier. But I'm not sure whether I'm going to miss the customization. So still figuring out all the things. So y'all just bear with me. Thank you, Michelle. Bear with me as we work through a new platform. All right, happy Sunday. Let me do my intro. As I introduce myself, I always share. My name is Jewel Pearson. I built a fancy tiny house in 2015 because I don't believe you have to give up luxury to go tiny. And since that time, I have shared my journey to hopefully inspire others who are interested in the movement. I do offer coaching and consultations to help others in their tiny house journey. And once this video is live and up on my channel, you will find links to be able to schedule with me in the video description below. And as I'm doing all of that, I serve up a lot of representation. I want us to see ourselves. I want us to be represented in the movement. I want us to be a part of this movement and to have an opportunity to benefit from the movement. So that's why I do what I do. If you find this video helpful, the information that we're going to talk about helpful, I hope you will like the video. I hope you'll share it. Subscribe to the channel. You should subscribe to the channel right now. Turn on the notifications so that you'll know when content is available and live. So happy Sunday, everybody. Savera, happy Sunday. Thank you so much. Hey, Carl. Happy Sunday. Glad to see all of hi, Geraldine. Rachel, good to see you too. Geraldine, Gabrielle. All right, we got a full house on this Sunday. I'm glad to see you all in the chat. I am so last last Sunday, accidentally, I was channeling my inner Don King. My hair was channeling its inner Don King. It might still be channeling it. I ain't exactly sure. The jury is still out on my hair. But it was an accident, which is why I had on this hat last week. And so this week, if you saw the thumbnail for this discussion, we are, or I am, channeling my inner Don Cornelius. If you remember his sign off, his famous sign off from um, Soul Train, he was wishing us love, peace. Did I miss? I'm missing something. I checked. Oh, love, peace, and soul. How I'm missing? He was wishing us love, peace, and soul, and I kind of switched it up to talk through peace, community, and soul. Love is a given. I'm always wishing us, all of us, love. So that's a given. But today we're going to talk about peace, community, and soul. And we've been talking about peace, community, and soul since November-ish. As we get ready for tomorrow, Dr. King's birthday. That's all we acknowledging over here is Dr. King's birthday. That's happening tomorrow. But we know there's a change that is happening, and so we have to be prepared, and that's what we've been talking about. Just overall making sure that we're ready for some of the changes that we know as Black and Brown folks that are going to impact us. And so um, that's what we're talking about. And soul, absolutely, we loved Don Cornelius. Thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about, and this is a refresher. It shouldn't be new stuff because we have been talking about this for several months now, preparing ourselves for several months now. So this is what we're talking about. So the love that he always wished us, again, that's a given. We should be moving in, operating in, reciprocating, receiving love. That's just one of the basics. It's non-negotiable. Thank you, Geraldine. And the peace that we've been talking about, and as I talk about peace, I always talk about it being relative to people, places, and things. And one of the ways that we've been talking about in ensuring our peace, maintaining our peace, is our gratitude practice, our prayer practice, our meditation practice, whatever you call it, to your time with your higher power. That's a big piece of us maintaining our peace. It is what is getting me through these days. I don't know if I shared. So my disability was up for renew, and they've decided that I should be able to go back to work, and abruptly cut my benefits, like no 30, 60, 90-day notice, like today is it's over. Corporate America, the stress that corporate America, the stress and the toll that corporate America put on me, I'm not ready. I ain't ready. I'm appealing it. That's the one thing, but I still have to navigate this the end of the end of the funds. And so my gratitude practice, my meditation, my trusting the journey, trusting this process, is what is keeping me together. Like right now, I'm kind of at the intersection of peace and terror, but holding my terror down because I've got that meditation practice. I've got my gratitude practice. I am trusting that in all of this, I was able to move and be in this beautiful space. And I trust that everything is working in my favor for my greater good. And that is what is holding me down for right now. I'm leaning very heavily into that because I can't afford to exist in stress. Like I physically cannot. As you all know, my first surgery was to repair the hole that they determined I have in my heart. So there's a gadget, for lack of a better word. It doesn't do anything. It just plugs that hole. And my heart is still reacting to it. I shared with you all that your body, obviously, your body knows something's foreign there, and so I take medicine to regulate my heart rhythm and rate because my heart is still like, hey, we know something is there that's not supposed to. So when I stress or am negatively excited, I feel it. And so I cannot afford, because so that is absolutely the indicator for me that stress impacts my body. I mean, I knew it from having the stroke. So I can't afford to operate from a place of anything other than peace. And so that is where I am. That is where we are staying as a group. Um, as we move through this time that is coming upon us, we know there's going to be a lot of opportunity for folks to feel empowered, and um, there's going to be a lot of negative. It's going to be a lot of, because the undercurrent of this change is seeped in the lie of white supremacy and racism, and so there's a lot of opportunity for us to, whether we're engaged in it or not, to be negatively impacted. And so we've spoken about not engaging. We've spoken about delete and block as a whole vibe. We don't expend our energy in those places. That quote about when someone is when somebody's arguing with a fool, it's hard to tell who's who. We we're not spending time in that place, and that is something that we are going to have to be mindful of every single day. Um, the the Jewel of a few years ago who would expend energy in not I wouldn't be angry, but kind of going back and forth to educate racists who would find their way over here to my platform. I very rarely do that. It's not worth my energy and time, because it's very few folks in that mindset who are interested in change or will be changed. And so the futility in expending my energy is not something I'm choosing to do. And so I want us to remember that. I want us to remember the disconnection that sometimes we're going to need to do from all of the things. Um, I have no intention of knowing anything other than the celebration of Dr. King tomorrow, and being involved in that. We have to be mindful of what we're taking into our body, and that is one of the ways that we need to be mindful of that in disconnecting and protecting our peace. We've also, in the people, places, and things, one of the other things we were talking about was decluttering and downsizing and organizing. I have been using this time to declutter because it's a constant process. You don't just declutter once and everything is okay and it stays that way. You end up bringing stuff in, not always taking stuff out. Closets, drawers, cabinets, all of those things will hide things that you aren't aware that you're collecting. And so I have been using this time to do that, because as we talked about, there's a lightness in doing that. There's a lightness in getting rid of things. There's a lightness in letting go people, places, and things. And so we want to remember to focus on that. um and then we were talking about the little things that you can do to bolster your peace, in because we talked about your home as a place of peace. And if it can't be your entire home, a closet, a corner, um, to bolster your peace. And we were speaking about ways to improve your peace, like um, things like a quick paint refresh. You can get a quick pint of paint. Or paint refresh does a lot for the spirit, makes stuff look brand new, covers imperfections. A caulk refresh in the bathroom, if you can't get rid of old things that you're frustrated with in the bathroom, sometimes a caulk refresh is amazing. Um, a new rug, some wallpaper. Wallpaper is cheap. Wallpaper is easy now. It's not that all that water sticky stuff. And so it is easy to do a wallpaper refresh. Wallpaper is cheap. Grab you some wallpaper and recreate a space. Buy you some new pillows, a comforter. It's some little things like that that pile up into major mental shifts that you're not even aware of that is available to you. So thinking in that way, I'm always an advocate of therapy. Therapists have therapists, so there's some value in therapy. Our community hasn't always supported, recognized, um, spoke about the need for therapy. It's vital. Get you a good therapist. I say get you a therapist that can relate to you and your challenges and struggle, your life. A lot of times there's an opportunity to have um, through your benefits, you have access to a therapist. Most health companies now are offering therapy through your benefits. So take advantage of that. That's important. That's managing your stress, working with a therapist, having someone who can help you navigate what you're going through. And so you're not just in that echo chamber in your head as you're navigating all of the things that are happening. JW is saying therapy helps you to mentally declutter. Absolutely. So that you're not replaying the same scenes over and over, but you have somebody to bounce it off of and somebody to help you see things in a different way, help you navigate. That's important. Um, so the piece of it, the piece of it, we're focused on our peace. That is a very important element. We're going to stay focused on that. We're not going to let anybody anybody's circumstances, situations throw us off of our peace. That's necessary for us to be able to navigate. And y'all know as I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself. So I don't say anything to y'all that I don't say to myself. So it's not do as I say, not as I do. It's just let's all do this together. And then the second piece that I somebody's saying energy, other people's energies. Absolutely. We've all the block and delete, that's people, places, and things. Staying protecting our peace means, and I there's a therapist, Dr. Reese, who I listened to on um Friday. She's a member of a group I'm in. She does a 7 on 7. And one of the things that she was talking about for peace said that protecting your peace means committing to steering clear of other people's chaos. And that's really, really important. Not because sometimes you'll end up carrying other people's stuff. You will feel some heaviness in it, and even your stuff, because you're involved in other people's chaos. So protecting your peace absolutely means um, steering clear of other people's mess. WLJ, I see your comment that it's been difficult to find a therapist with whom you identify with, so you gave up. Absolutely not. Um, you are worth the effort. I don't know where you're located. Black Girls Therapy is, I know they're on IG. They have a list of therapists. Um, I know there's some other resources. I can't think of them right now, but the giving up is not the option. Hi, Frederick. The piece of it is advocating for yourself. We talked about um, advocating for yourself and how important it is. You can't give up on yourself. So if you need some help navigating that, that's why you have community here. We can help you figure that out. But giving up is not an option. So I see you saying Ohio. Um, I got to think about brainspotting.com. Brainspotting, spotting.com is a site my therapist just told me to refer to my cousin who was also looking for a therapist in Georgia. So I'm sure that you can find therapists there, but it's not an option to give up on yourself. So let's fix that. Um, all right. The second piece we were talking about. So again, in our inner Don Cornelius, this was, I think he didn't say community. That wasn't in the thing that he was wishing as he would do his outro. But I also think of the times in the 70s. Community was more of a thing, especially for our community. We were more engaged in community. We were more connected. We were more connected in our neighborhoods. We lived around each other. So community and support and those things are were more commonplace than I feel like they are now. And so I feel like that was a given that and Soul Train was about community. So community, I believe, was a given. But now we are in this place where we're more disconnected than ever. Um, and so that we have to speak to the need for community and the importance of community. Um, and so thank you, Deborah. WLJ, see what Deborah's comment. Oh, and I should have started with thank you. This I had this on my note and completely forgot it. A big thanks to this community for the support that you all offered Judith last week. I asked if you had it, if you could, anything that I collected last week, I was sharing with Judith, who is part of the Soul Collective community, and she lost her home in Altadena, California. And so our community was able to collect $445 for her that I did share with her. So thank you all very much for that. And was very grateful and appreciative and surprised. So thank you. Um, Robert, I agree with that alone time can be therapeutic as well. I agree with that 100%. But there is also, it has to be balanced. So community, alone time, having somebody to speak to, all of that has to be kind of balanced. I agree with that. Community is one of the biggest impetus for me having gone through the relocation of my house here, to be connected with people. There's some joy in the closeness where I am now to my people, as well as having new neighbors. The woman's property I'm on, who lives right next door, I enjoy conversation with her. She's got a cute little dog, and I'm happy to be more connected and in community, and that is important for us to have that opportunity. The disconnection at some point where I was previously was needed in the beginning as I was doing a reset, but then there came a time, kind of what I was we Robert and I were just talking about. The balance for me was missing. I was totally disconnected the majority of the time, so I needed the balance, and that is what this location is offering me. Um, so community protects us. It helps us grow individually and as a people. The opportunity that we had as a community to share some love with Judith, that's how community protects us. That's how community supports us. And that's important. Um, the community, one of the things that has been helping me along, and Tracy just showed up in the chat. Hi, Tracy. Um, Tracy is, said, is one of my souvenirs from San Miguel. Um, Tracy and the grocery store that I'm not going to speak about. But anyway, um, the another way that I am intentionally, because we're moving in intention, so intentionally staying connected to community is I've got scheduled weekly and monthly calls to connect with different folks. I have a weekly call with Tracy. It's not I've got some business calls with Tracy, but this is a chat call just to catch up and it's not just a call. It is a Zoom conversation. My monthly conversation with some other fabulous ladies is a Google Hangout, Google Meet, whatever it is, so that you can see people. Like, phone calls are okay, but now that we have the opportunity to connect via video, um, that adds a different element, so that you're not just chatting, you're engaging. You can kind of look into somebody's eyes, and so that piece of it is a bonus that we have that available. I use it to FaceTime to connect with my mother in Atlanta. She hates every bit of it sometimes because she doesn't feel like she's looking good enough for the camera, but I make her anyway. So that connection, because as I say to her, it's just me. We not on HGTV. It's just me. So intentionally scheduling um time to connect, to stay connected, so that it is not just happenstance. um then community, uh, accountability partners, that's what we've been talking about a lot. That the benefit of community, we talk about, we have accountability partners in my Patreon community. And one of the things that I am appreciating about being in this location, I now have an accountability partner that can help me make sure I get myself to the gym. Um, some of the stuff that you don't necessarily want to do, but if you know somebody is expecting you there, expecting some results, checking in, that adds to your motivation to do it. So accountability partners. Somebody who is just keeping you on track. And the big thing that we've spoken about in community that we cannot forget is the reciprocity. Just don't come into the community taking. You have to give. You have to be in community. Don't come in expecting that you just are going to show up. No, there is the requirement, I'm going to say it's the requirement to be in community and be a contributing person in community, to give as well as receive in that community. One of the things I hear Stephanie talk about all the time is how community doesn't have a center. It is a group of people that are gathering, and everyone is part of the community. There's not just the center of community, and that is that's important. So we're establishing boundaries because we're not going to be in community where somebody is just taking from us and we feel depleted and used. We have our boundaries up so that it is reciprocal. There's a give and take in that connection, and that's important. um Happy Sunday, Sadiq. I love catching blessings. um Jocelyn is asking, how do you find a good accountability partner? Okay, so I've got some to-dos for you all in just a second that I'm going to throw in there. But one thing about finding a good accountability partner is the vulnerability in asking, the vulnerability in sharing that you have a need. I just dropped my Patreon link. We've got some accountability partners there. But there's the vulnerability in asking, because I don't have any real statistics, but I'm just going to say 9 times out of 10, somebody else needs an accountability partner and might be struggling with the same thing that you're struggling with. So putting the ask out there, putting the ask out in your networks, maybe on social media, or putting yourself in groups that are associated with conversations and things that you want to be involved in, putting the ask out there. And that, for me, the vulnerability of putting it out there, I have shared, that has been a challenge for me. I'm over it now. No, I'm telling a lie. I'm not 100% over it now, but I am less hung up on it than I have been in the majority of my life, in asking for help. It's that's hard, especially if you're the strong person, you're the person folks always lean on, you're the person people expect to have the answers. That vulnerability of, I'm stuck, I need help, I don't have the answers, is challenging. Doesn't necessarily feel good, but I'm also trying to work on my ease and liberation, and I know I can't do all the things by myself. So there's some um vulnerability in there's some vulnerability in it, but it's worth it. I have some connections now that are really near and dear to my heart that I would not have had if I hadn't been open to vulnerability. So that's very important. um I just shared the link to my Patreon community. We have in Patreon, we have a monthly call. We're next month kicking off our Soul Collective Reading Club. We are going to be reading Less is Liberation, Christine Platt's book. Christine is going to be participating, maybe, I don't know how often she'll join us. I'm not going to say she's a member of the book club, but she will join us at some point. We have my Patreon community gets first access and information to events. They have access to monthly meetups, um, group conversations. We got together over Christmas, New Year's Eve. They get discounts. So Michelle Christine's book she just finished it, so I know it's with the publisher, but it's coming out soon. Absolutely. Hey, Kathy. So Patreon, and I am also going to be. I am working, as I've shared a couple of months ago, that I am working on updating my tools. I can't think of the word I want it right now. The platforms that I use. Most of us, as we're seeing, we know the need to move away from the big platforms where we don't own our data, we don't own our communities. Patreon, for me, I want more of an opportunity to more of an opportunity to connect than Patreon offers currently. And so I am working on my platforms that I'll be using. And so um, I am dropping. So with this little new tool that I have here, I learned how to add a little ticker. I am dropping a link. I'm going to do that right now. So as I'm working on several things. Um, Tracy Collins has her leadership community, lead hership community, and I am working with Tracy as um, mentoring me through updating some of my offerings. So that's coming. Um, I am asking for support, reciprocal support from my community. So the mailing list that I just dropped is how you will know the when these things are happening, what the new offerings are, the new platforms. You'll also, one of the things that my Soul Collective, the Patreon community, will have is the opportunity to gather in person. We're going to have some events where we gather virtually, but we also want to gather in person. And so that that is the information that will be provided in the mailing list, and you'll have opportunities to get access to that. So community is going to is important, is so important, but as we're navigating these spaces, it's going to become so much more important. And so these are opportunities to be in community. Zara, the top two tiers are the ones that have the access to the accountability partnerships. Thank you for asking that. Happy Sunday, Marissa. Happy Sunday. Happy to see you here. Kathy is saying the big ask is always big, but people are happy givers. Absolutely. And if you find somebody who's not a happy giver, that's not your person. So don't let them throw you off. You keep moving, because there is somebody out there who will be the happy giver. So absolutely. Thank you, Kathy, for that. All right. So community, the link that's in the chat, the link that's flowing across the screen, because I'm using this new tool, you can have access to the details as they come out. There's also a free giveaway once you use that link to get on the subscription list, a free download that you'll have about tiny houses, so that you can you'll get access there. So Patreon, join me on Patreon. That's a big way to have an accountability, to stay in community, to get in community. Y'all feel free to share some love. I'm soliciting love. And if you all are so moved, I'm advocating for myself. All right, so community, that's important. That is really important. B is in the community. So we appreciate community. Frederick said he's a happy giver. Frederick is in the community. We appreciate Frederick, because Frederick is right now the only male in our community. And so we're always happy to have his perspective, and we appreciate him being in community. Lena, I think I did see you sent me an email. I think I completely misresponding. Maybe I responded in my head. My apologies. I need to go back and check on that. Thank you for reminding me. All right. And then our third wish in our Don Cornelius channeling. So his outro, he wished us love, peace, and soul. And so this is where we are in our soul. Thank you, Key. We're focused on the soul. And so this is what we're talking about today: peace, community, and soul. Yeah, I got some new toys over here, so I'm doing all the things. Um, they might slow down at some point if I get tired. Anyway, so soul, there, your soul is the essence of who you are, the person that you are. That is your soul. And there, um, 5 components. I finally looked it up, as I always try to say, think of all of the components through, emotionally, mentally, and I never get all of them. But I finally looked them up. So there are 8 components of wellness. The wellness for your soul. It's emotional, physical, financial, environmental, occupational, social, intellectual, and spiritual. Those are the 8 components of wellness, and they are all mutually codependent. You can't just focus on one and be okay. You have to focus on every last component for your complete wellness, for your soul, for your being, for the essence of who you are. You have to be working on all of those components. Um, Thank you, Kathy. Glad you are part of the community. We look forward to having you there. So the components again: your emotional wellness, your physical wellness, your financial wellness, your environmental wellness, your occupational wellness, intellectual wellness, your spiritual wellness, and your social wellness, all codependent, all necessary for your overall wellness. So we have to be careful of what we're taking in: our emotional, physical, taking care of our bodies, eating well, exercising, resting, financial. I will have Adelia on, a few other folks who focus on the financial, because that is a big piece of our wellness. I've always shared that my tiny house right now is saving me financially. The downsizing, the opportunity to have less in my home, or as the home, is the a financial bonus for me. The environmental, uh, climate change, the stuff that we're seeing happening in the world today right now is so much is so much of the environmental, um, impacts, the negative environmental impacts. We all play a role in that, in how we're individually being responsible for our environmental impact. Our occupational wellness, with jobs, the stress, the life work balance, all of those things. Our intellectual wellness: what are you, consuming? How are you growing your brain? How are you feeding your brain? How are you feeding your intellect? How are you feeding, intellect of folks that you're responsible for? Um, um, the social aspect of your soul, your wellness, and your spiritual. And so those are all components and necessary, and things that we are focused on. We know we have to be focused on. Those are important, and those are going to be the things that we're guarding, as part of um, our protection of our souls. Um, what we feed, what we nurture our soul with, guarding our souls, staying, the meditation, prayer, um, that is a big piece of that. Staying in the present, that's one of the things, um, that is really helpful in the spiritual aspect. It's hard, but when you're worried about the past, or not worried about the past, when you are stuck in the past, maybe focused on something that has happened and go well, something that you can't change because it already happened, or worrying about the future. And again, I am speaking from the personal of knowing my current situation, and knowing I can't worry about the future. I can't control the future, but I can control myself, what I'm doing right now, how I'm thinking, what my actions, the energy that I'm putting out in the world, so that those things can come back to me in the correct form. That is what I can focus on. And then for your soul, and we talk about a piece of it is financial, your emotional. I think it ties into so many of the 8 points of wellness. Your goals, like, you all show up, we talk about tiny houses, some of you have tiny house dreams. What are you doing to nurture your goals, the things that you know that will help you get to that liberation, that will help you get to that ease and abundance, that will help you in all aspects of your wellness. Y'all know I have workshops. I've got offered consultations. I think I got a banner for that one too. Get on my calendar. Um, those are ways that I my Sunday things are my Sunday conversation is how I give to the community. The stuff that I share, I do share a lot of stuff. Those are the gifts that I have, that I've been given, and I want to share with the community. But there are also ways that you all can participate in supporting the the gifts that I also offer. There's some opportunity to get on my calendar for consultations. Um, I've got workshops for you all. I am working on expanding those offerings, and that is why you should be on the mailing list, because that is where you'll get more information about those offerings, those expanded offerings. And so, I thought my signal looked like it was about to die. Thank you, Evelyn. Attend a workshop, schedule a consultation, be part of the Patreon community. That's how you can be in community. That's how you can support. That's how we both can share our gifts. Those are the things that we are going to remain focused on for these next however long, as we are doing all the things to support our peace in our community and our soul. And what Don said, and you can bet your last money it's going to all be a stone cold gas, honey. Don was just so fly, way, way before his time. And so those are the ways that we can ensure that it's going to be a stone gas. And that's 70 speak for anybody who is confused. Don stood on business. And so those are the ways and the things. And as he wished us love, peace, and soul, I'm wishing us love, peace, community, and soul, and for us to be all well. Thank you, Teresa. And so that's what we're doing. Those are the things that we're remembering on this Sunday as we head into a new era. But I'm only acknowledging Dr. King tomorrow. But as we head into this new, whatever it is, we have to remember the ways that we take care of ourselves, the way we sustain ourselves, the way we engage in community and take care of our community. Sophia says, in 2023, you gave me a personal phone consult that's been invaluable in my tiny house journey. Well worth the investment and won't hesitate to pay for your services should I need them again. Thank you, Sophia. I'm gonna have to let me take a screenshot of that right now because that's gonna be one of my customer testimonials. So thank you. I appreciate that. For anyone that was confused on the 70s speak about the stone cold gas, I want to make sure you understood. Thank you. Yes, Sadiq, I am at my convertible desk. I am still the entourage, the tiny house entourage, my sunroom, where my desk usually is still in process. And so I am in the on wheels portion and using my convertible desk. I'm actually standing because I don't have my chair here in the house. And so I can afford to stand and exercise some. Yes, Rosalind, a new era. That's exactly what it is. So that is what I am. That's where I am. So what y'all got? I hope y'all have. I agree. Thank you, E. Ashton. Thank you so very much. Evelyn says she was texting out to family as she listens to tell them about this community. Thank you, Evelyn. I appreciate that. The more the merrier. We are going to need our community, and we need each other for sure. Thank you so much. That is the I lost my word. That is my signature. That window is my signature. And I built in 2015. I hadn't seen it in any houses, and I've seen it a lot since since I built. So I like to think that I led the movement in that direction as well. I think it is 4 feet. I think that's the height of that window. Is originally going to be 5 feet, and I cut it down from 4 feet to 5 feet because of pricing. And I'm glad I did, because for it to be any bigger, it just would have been a lot. But I love that window. Thank you. Thank you for signing up for the mailing list. I appreciate that, WLJ. Sadiq is asking, do I see myself buying land to move your tiny to, or just a possible tiny house community in the future? Not buying land to move my house to, but absolutely building a tiny house community. And those conversations are slow, but in process. But absolutely. That is my intention. That is one of the big things on my list of accomplishments. Hi, Kim. Is what I want to do and build a community. MBA is asking for the dates for the 5-part tiny house workshop. I am absolutely, that's on my to-do list. I want to the workshop that I coordinated as part of a local event here last year. I want to recreate something similar in content, because it was fabulous, and I did that work. So listen, as things happen for the future, and folks are planning to do things again, let's be clear that I did that work. So I'm claiming ownership for my work. But yes, I intend to do that again. So thank you. I will be sharing that. Absolutely. Teresa says, I remember the woman who stole your plans and didn't give you credit for sharing your plans. So she actually bought them. She didn't steal them, but she did buy them. And as the giver that I am, she had a builder that didn't really know how to read plans, and I worked with her free of charge to help her and her builder through her build process. And what had happened was she had the opportunity to be on that Australian dude's channel. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Um, to share her home. She was in Canada. He tapped her to be on his channel. And for some goofy ass reason, um, she struggled with saying that he asked where she got the idea for her home, and she struggled with saying that she had bought her plans from a Black woman, I guess. Um, Even as much as I had helped her. Um, but because I'm not a goofy person, um, giving ownership and credit to the fact that those were my plans was is part of the terms and conditions of purchasing my plans. And so and there was a reason I had to do that. And so I had to hit her with the legalities, and they had to fix that. So yes, what had happened was they had to fix that. Because those are my plans. I own them. I sell them, but I still own them. And so um the Australian dude whose name starts with a B, um, who has a huge channel that mostly features folks that don't look like us, who I've also said is um, a racist. He was bothered by the fact that I was requiring them to do that. He felt like I was trying to get access to his audience, put my name out there and get access to his audience. And I was like, dude, your audience ain't my audience. I don't really care about them folks over there. What I'm requiring is that you all give credit where credit is due. And so that is what happened. The funny part was, so if you building my plans and your house has a great big old window right here, um, it's kind of and your front is windows like mine. Like it, I didn't even know it was out there. And 10 million people started inboxing me to show me that this house was out there that looked like mine. Um, it was so obvious it was my design. So the smart thing to do would have been to just give credit where credit was due. And so then I had to require that they do that. Exactly, JW. Just and it was such a when I went and watched that bit of it, it was just such an awkward, like it was so goofy as they were standing there. He asked where the idea was, and she was standing around trying to figure out what to say. And I was like, both of y'all look like two idiots right here. But anyway, y'all gonna give me my credit. Or else we're gonna talk the next time we'll be talking will be through my attorney. Yeah. I didn't say it, but Michelle said it. So anyway, yes, that is what had happened, and that was that house. And y'all know I stand on business. And so they had to address that. It was just so dumb and unnecessary. Everybody knew it was my plans. But anyway, and so yes, Teresa, thank you. I did do a lot of work last April on those workshops. That was part of another event here. And I will be putting some workshops together again. The workshops were what I was responsible for that event. Um, I try to stay in my lane and do what I do and do what I do well. So more to come. Um, I I keep trying to tell you, I've been in this movement for 10 years, and I have seen some of the best and some of the worst of the worst. So when y'all ask me sometimes, am I going to events? Am I supporting this person? Am I doing this? And I just say, nope, nope, nope. That is the why. Um, So yes, that is what happened. Thank you, Love Catching Blessings. I appreciate that. Um, yes, absolutely. Hi, Judith. Happy to have you here. Glad you made it. I did share with the community that you were so appreciative of the love that they shared with you last week, and we're happy to have you here, and we're continuing to send you love. I know you've got a lot going on. Judith and I chatted, and she has dreams of a tiny house, and so she is thinking through what has happened and the move for the future as a life quake. Like I think about this, my having experienced a stroke and the um, beauty that has come out of that. And when you come, beauty that comes out of destruction. And so we're sending Judith love and um, all the things, all the things. Yeah, I can laugh about it now. Um, Absolutely. I I didn't say names and channels, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Yes, absolutely. Um, Absolutely. Let's see what else. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, One of the things, since we're here, one of the things in the that I share, and especially I share it with people as they join the tiny house community. One of the things that I had to learn early on, like even through YouTube, is that as I've fought for many years for diversity and inclusion, and they fought back, and then I decided I was gonna um, go over and do my own thing and build my own tables. And then they kind of tried to latch on in around the time that um, um oh my God, who's the brother that I can't think of his name right now, that we lost through police violence that during COVID, when oh my God, I see his face. Y'all know how my brain works, so somebody help me with his name. Is um as we lost him, I'm gonna say no, Eric was the man in New York. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Um, they, the tiny house community, came back with trying to amplify Black George Floyd. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. Um, Thank thank y'all, because y'all already know how my brain will blank sometimes. Um, so many of the influencers, the white influencers in the tiny house community, came back with, we are now we want to amplify Black voices. And so you started seeing more Black folks on their channel. But one of the things, and I had a conversation with another influencer who I've known from the beginning. She also has a huge channel, and in the beginning it was her and her very tall boyfriend, and I think she's married now. Um, she also has a very large channel. She had reached out to amplify my voice. Did I need a new video of my house and all the stuff? And so I asked her, I ain't saying names, but y'all know who I'm talking about. I said, yes, I could, but I'd also like to put it on my channel, because what happens is they put the videos on their channel and they don't pay people, and they get all of the views and they make money off of it, and they're not paying the tiny house owner. So the benefit as they sell it is that you get exposure, but you can't take exposure to the bank. You can't send exposure in to pay a bill. depending on the channel. So for me, HGTV was exposure that I needed. Um, but depending on the channel, exposure isn't really helping me when you're benefiting financially. And so when I ask that this influencer allow me to also, not only to also put the video on my channel, like share, you know what I'm saying? Like this is your channel over here. This is my home. You want to share my home on your channel and make money off of it. It is my home that I've done the work on. I'd also like to share it on my channel and financially benefit from it. And the conversation stopped because I mean it went, we were chatting in Instagram and then all of a sudden wasn't nothing else said. Because the ultimate goal is for them to make money and they make money off of that. And so and it's not from a place of really amplifying Black voices for the reason of amplifying Black voices. And so we have to be mindful of when we're being taken advantage of. If exposure is what you need, again, as I think about HGTV and the audiences that elevated me to, it was obviously HGTV. The HGTV brought me to so many of you all. That's a no-brainer. But we have to be mindful, and it's not just in this. Okay, so yes, Teresa knows what I'm talking about. It is not just in the tiny house movement or tiny house thing. It is overall. Oftentimes when people are presenting something to us and they want to make it seem like it is, y'all know what I'm talking about. And they want to make it seem like they're doing something for our benefit. Ultimately, it is not for our benefit. And so we need to be on guard for folks who are trying to, take advantage of us for their own benefit. And that is a common theme and thread for them, the taking of things, the appropriation of things, the having us do work and you don't get any credit for it, the gentrification, like all of those things that we know happen. That is a common theme. So it is very much in the DNA. So, but we have to be mindful and aware of that so that we're on our P's and Q's when stuff like that is happening, that we know absolutely that we are mindful of where the benefit is for us. And so that is why when y'all ask me again, am I going to this event? Or sometimes y'all might send me a video of somebody tiny house on one of those channels. I ain't watching and I ain't going because I've had run-ins with so many of those folks who, and it's been steeped in racism that I can't support those things. I refuse to support those things. And when somebody asks me, I provide, and especially as we're joining the tiny house movement and I have an opportunity to have a conversation, I ask people to be mindful of the fact that that is going to be something that they're presented with, and to keep it is being pimped out, absolutely, to be aware of that, because that's not community. That's not the things that help us as a community. And so we have to look out for each other and for ourselves. Thank you, Jocelyn. That the cognitive impact for my mini stroke. I don't have the external impacts, but as I was sharing earlier, my heart rate and rhythm from the device that they had to place in my heart, and then the cognitive impact to where there was damage in my brain. So my word recall is impacted, my spelling, and sometimes simple words I can't figure out how to spell. And having been a spelling bee champion in junior high, that kind of that kind of bothers me, because spelling has been my thing, but there's spell check and all the things, so I'm not that been out of shape about it. But then I'm teasing when I say bothers me. I'm grateful to be here. Um, and names are my thing. People I know, people, friends, family. It's just the processing, like the processor, the computer. My computer has been damaged, and so those are my challenges. But thank you. I thank y'all for filling in the gaps for me at times when I need it. Um, oh, thank you, Teresa. I didn't know that. Um, right. The thought of everybody eating is a foreign concept. I'm not saying let me take this so that I solely benefit from it. I'm saying let us both benefit from it. You're doing some work. I'm doing some work. It is my entity, my home, just as somebody said. So let us both benefit from it. That's how community is supposed to work. That's the reciprocity in community. And so when somebody shuts down because they only intend to get the benefit from it, that's a problem. Absolutely. That is a problem. Um, Thank you, Tree Brown. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Um, Thank you, Kim. All right. All right. Validation is for parking tickets. I agree. I agree. Um, Thank you very much, Deborah. All right. That's what I got for y'all. As Rosalind told us, we're moving into a new era. We have to be on our self-preservation. We have to be focused on our love, our peace, our community, and our soul. And that is what I'm going to be focused on as I navigate disability. And I'm the end of disability, and I'm grateful. I am grateful that I got to move into this space. This is happening while I am in this place of peace. Because had I been in the place that I knew was impacting me negatively, and again, it's nothing to that space, so I don't want it to seem that way. It is needing to be more connected. So grateful that this happened while I'm here. So yeah. All right. That's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you, Cynthia. Grace is asking, am I in the Atlanta area? No, I am in North Carolina, in the Charlotte area. Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate that. This work is my gift. This is when people speak about purpose. I like to think of it as my gifts. I know this is my gift. And because of the way it makes me feel and what I had the opportunity to bring to the community. So thank y'all. All right. I have shared all the things that I had to share today. Be sure to get on that mailing list. I'm dropping the link again. Get on the mailing list and get in community with us. All right, good people. Happy Sunday. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Take care.